Welcome back to Fear Phantom. Today, we're diving into the dark and twisted tales of some of history's most notorious and terrifying figures. From the shadowy streets of Victorian London haunted by Jack the Ripper, to the ruthless deeds of Thug Behram, these men have left an indelible mark on history with their chilling actions. Join me as we uncover the gruesome stories and explore the minds of these historical monsters. Let's get started. Vlad III, Prince of Wallachia, better known as Vlad the Impaler or Vlad Dracula, was born in 1431 in Transylvania. He ruled Wallachia 3 times between 1448 and his death. Vlad is infamous for his brutal methods of punishment, particularly impalement, which he used to instill fear in his enemies and subjects. Despite his cruelty, he is also considered a national hero in Romania for his resistance against the Ottomans. His reputation for brutality inspired the legend of Dracula, popularized by Bram Stoker's novel. Vlad died in battle against the Ottomans in 1476 or 1477. Genghis Khan, born Temujin in 1162 near the Onon River in Mongolia, is often depicted as an evil figure due to his brutal tactics and the vast destruction wrought by his conquests. After the murder of his father, Temujin united the Mongol tribes through alliances and warfare, earning him the title Genghis Khan, meaning universal ruler. He launched a series of military campaigns that resulted in the deaths of millions, with some estimates suggesting as much as 10% of the world's population at the time. His armies were known for their ruthlessness, employing tactics such as mass slaughters, the destruction of entire cities, and the use of terror to subdue populations. Genghis Khan's legacy is thus deeply controversial, with his achievements in empire building tempered by the immense human suffering caused by his conquests. Grigory Rasputin, born in Siberia in 1869, was a controversial figure in Russian history. He gained prominence as a mystic and healer, claiming to possess supernatural powers. Rasputin became close to the Russian royal family, particularly Tsar Nicholas II and Tsarina Alexandra, due to his ability to seemingly alleviate the symptoms of their son Alexei's hemophilia. Despite his influence, Rasputin faced criticism and scandal due to his alleged debauchery and manipulation of the royal family. He was assassinated in 1916 by a group of nobles who feared his influence over the royal family and his role in Russian politics. Rasputin's life and death have become the subject of legend and myth, symbolizing the decline and collapse of the Russian Empire. Ivan IV, also known as Ivan the Terrible, was the first Tsar of Russia, ruling from 1547 until his death in 1584. His early reign was marked by significant reforms and centralization of power, earning him the title Grozny in Russian, which can be translated as both terrible and awe-inspiring. Ivan's policies included the creation of the Oprichnina, a state within a state that was used to enforce his rule and suppress dissent. However, Ivan's later years were marked by increasing paranoia, cruelty, and violence, including the infamous massacre of Novgorod in 1570. This period of his reign is often seen as a descent into madness and tyranny. One of the most tragic and personal acts of his later years was the killing of his own son, Ivan Ivanovich, in a fit of rage in 1581. Ivan IV's legacy is complex, with some viewing him as a visionary leader who laid the foundations for the Russian state, while others see him as a brutal tyrant whose reign was marked by terror and suffering. H. Holmes, born Herman Webster Mudgett in 1861, was one of America's first documented serial killers. Operating during the 1893 Chicago World's Fair, Holmes built a hotel later dubbed the Murder Castle, designed with hidden passages, trapdoors, and soundproof rooms where he tortured and killed an unknown number of victims, primarily young women. He lured victims into his hotel with promises of employment or lodging, then subjected them to horrific experiments and murders. Holmes's exact number of victims is unknown, but is believed to be at least 9, with some estimates suggesting he may have killed hundreds. He was eventually caught, convicted, and hanged in 1896. Holmes's crimes and the gruesome details of his murder castle have cemented his place as one of history's most infamous and chilling figures. Gilles Garnier, also known as the Werewolf of Dole, was a Frenchman who lived in the late 16th century. He is infamous for being one of the first recorded cases of a serial killer claiming to be a werewolf. Garnier was a hermit who lived on the outskirts of Dole and was accused of murdering and cannibalizing several children and adults. According to reports, Garnier claimed that a specter had given him an ointment that transformed him into a wolf, allowing him to commit his crimes. He was eventually captured, confessed to the murders, and was burned at the stake in 1573. The case of Gilles Garnier is one of the earliest and most sensationalized accounts of werewolf trials in history. Jack the Ripper is the infamous pseudonym given to an unidentified serial killer who operated in the Whitechapel district of London in 1888. The Ripper's victims were primarily female adult entertainers whose throats were slashed and bodies mutilated. The case is famous for its brutality and the fact that the killer was never caught, leading to speculation and numerous theories about the Ripper's identity. The murders attributed to Jack the Ripper occurred between August and November 1888 and sparked widespread fear and fascination both in London and around the world. The case remains one of the most famous unsolved mysteries in criminal history. However, in recent years, a study using DNA analysis on a shawl believed to belong to one of the victims pointed to Aaron Kosminski, a Polish barber and prime suspect at the time, as a potential culprit. However, this claim has faced criticism regarding the shawl's provenance, the handling of the DNA evidence, and the study's methodology. As a result, while the theory adds an intriguing dimension to the ongoing mystery, Jack the Ripper's true identity remains officially unsolved. Thug Bairam, also known as Burham Jemidar, was an infamous Indian thug who lived during the 18th and 19th centuries. He was a member of the Thuggee cult, a group of criminals who were dedicated to the worship of the goddess Kali, and who specialized in robbery and murder, particularly by strangulation with a ceremonial cloth called a rumal. Thug Bairam is said to have been one of the most prolific killers in history, responsible for the deaths of over 900 people. He was eventually captured and executed, and his story has become a part of Indian folklore and history. Thanks for joining us on this chilling journey through history's most terrifying figures. These men have left an indelible mark on the annals of infamy. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe for more spine-tingling tales. Let me know in the comments who you found the most terrifying, or if there are any other historical figures you'd like us to cover. Until next time, stay curious and stay safe.